My target audience or demographic in women is a woman between the ages of 30 to 35, possibly, transitioning from her younger years into a more stable career and ready to rule the world in fashion terms. So she's very stylish. She has very little time, so a lot of my looks go from day to night. Um, Aside from my evening gowns is a whole nother story, but a lot of my typical looks you can take from the workplace and on to maybe a couple cocktails, maybe a night out with the boo, or possibly even if you want to go to a elite event, you could wear MTD designs. They do reach out to me or via Facebook, Instagram, telephone call. It typically starts with a meeting face to face. Once we meet face to face, we determine what the event is. Where are you wearing this garment that you want so uniquely designed for you? So a woman would come to me and she would say, oh, I'm going to a wedding, and perhaps she's not in the wedding party, but she wants to look amazing. So we start with an idea and we start with some raw sketches. So a client will come to me and say, I'm going to an event and I want to look amazing. And just for instance, it could be a wedding. So she comes, she knows she wants lace, she knows she wants something long and alluring, she definitely wants some volume in the back. So I start with a sketch. Once we work with that sketch, I'll do measurements. And with the measurements, the typical, A to B of measuring is you measure the bust, you measure the waist, you measure the hips, and from there we start to feel, okay, we know what her look is, we know what she's going for, we even know at this point my sketch and my idea, but we need to fit it in with her perfect size. So that is where we come into the lines of tailoring. And tailoring is where we are doing something to fit that person. So that person is your model and you're working with those sizes and that margin, and you're definitely making sure that this look ties into her physique. Here you can see where we have a center front dart, and that's simply a dart that focuses on the shaping of the bust of a woman. And with designing for women in general, you want to make sure that you focus on their curves and accentuate it in a way to where it's flattering, not necessarily just a focus and a zoom in on sex appeal. Sometimes just to fit a silhouette is the sex appeal. I grew up in a 3-story home on 15th and Susquehanna with my great-grandparents and my single mother. My father was in a situation where he wasn't present in the home. So designing really started to come to play with sketches first out of boredom. I found myself, I'm the only child, so I found myself drawing and sketching a lot. And it became a hobby, a good hobby for me, but a bad hobby in my mother's eyes, because oftentimes I would be in school doodling on my books and I should have been probably studying or focusing. I had dolls, and oftentimes the dolls were unclothed. And I would ask my mother, oh, could you buy this little outfit for my little Barbie? And she's like, well, you always lose them, so it's no reason for me to spend all that money on an outfit for your dolls. So my great-grandmother came up with this crazy idea of making my own clothes for my Barbies. And we made them out of socks, mismatched socks that nobody could find the other match to. And we would cut and tie and tweak. And before you knew it, my Barbies were totally clothed. That was, again, another hobby that my mother got sick of, because now all the socks were cut up and tattered and missing top half. It was crazy. But I started to really love the fact that you can play with fashion. And from there, I would love to dress myself if we were to go out, or if my mother was to have an event, she would actually allow me to pick out what I wanted from time to time. And I didn't realize until later in the game that this is something that I enjoy doing. My great-grandmother was an artist. My Aunt Bobby, which is amazing, she was a tailor, a seamstress, just a hand sewer, and that's what really is couture now. Anything made by hand is couture. My Aunt Bobby was good for that, making coats, slacks, wedding gowns, everything. And she taught me how to, actually operate my sewing machine very early on. So I really realized that fashion was something that I wanted to definitely partake in. Once I got to high school and everyone started to take a liking in how I would change my uniforms into something that didn't look like what we were supposed to be wearing, or I would accessorize it. And that's when I knew, when everyone else started to take a like to it, I'm like, wow, that's what actually made me popular, and actually rung bells, in the neighborhood. So I said, okay, is this something that I really want to do? And I realized that it was something that I really wanted to do when my clothes actually hit the runway. I received $2,000. They put in maybe $600. And that's how much I made from the show all in all, a little over $2,000. And I said to myself, wow, first off, I've never even seen $1,000. I don't even think I could count to 1,000 at that age. But I said, okay, this is cool, And everyone, when I said they seen my garments, they started to say, okay, this is different, this is unique. But at the time, it was still at a very minute stage on what it could have been. But I had everyone from high school participating. And then to follow from that, I participated in a statewide competition here in Philadelphia. Delaware Valley Charter High School, it was Dobbins, and a few other high schools that had participated in the competition. And there were several scenes. It was rep your school scene where you can wear your uniforms and tweak it and swag it out. And then there was a scene where you can create your own looks. And every look that we put in that show, I designed. And it was crazy because they were like, no, they're wearing like store-bought clothes. No, they weren't store-bought. They were just that good. So we won the competition. We were supposed to win $1,000. It never happened. We didn't get the money, but we got the bragging rights. Why we didn't get the money is a whole nother story, but we did pretty good. And it was a group by the name of American Rockstar. And I don't know if you guys remember them, but they're so hot. And I think they changed their name. I believe they're still out there. But they were good for like the t-shirts, the jeans with the paint splattered all over them, pictures on the back of their jackets. Like, it was so hot, and we were so dope at the time that what they known us for was fashion. And when you seen us, you seen fashion. And every time we talked about stuff, it was just like, oh my God, I need you to make me something. I need you to do something for me. I need this, I need that. So that's where a lot of the buzz had generated. And that was like back in 2003, 2004. I always wanted to go to school in New York City, which I believe any fashion designer wants to go to New York City to study design. I applied for Parsons, the Art Institute of New York, possibly go to like LA or Atlanta, but cut to the chase, I went to the Art Institute of Philadelphia. And even though it wasn't my first choice, it was definitely the best. I feel like a lot of people place New York as like, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. In Philadelphia, if you can make it here, you can definitely make it anywhere. I studied and I worked with Ericoli. I worked with Ina. I worked with Emerald, and they were instructors at the Art Institute, and they were amazing. They were tough on us, and they gave a lot of work, but definitely everything that I learned, I definitely took in, and I took heed to what they were saying and why it was important to follow their instructions. Designing at home and working with a home machine is totally different from actually using a industrial machine and constructing that garment on an industrial machine. Interning was a sweet, what do they call it, bittersweet type of moment, mainly because I interned in New York City because I wanted to go to New York for some reason. In the dead of winter, I interned with Jasara Lee, which was amazing. I love her. I love her design aesthetic. I love everything about her. She designed pieces from tailoring, from custom to handmade. She's amazing. I do want to say something towards the younger generation or anyone with a dream. If you are an entrepreneur and you're not going the typical fields of maybe aspiring to be a lawyer or a doctor, and you want to do something creative and something that some people may not understand. I do want to say to hang in there. There is a group of people that understand you, and they're definitely called entrepreneurs, and they're out there. And what you want to do is work with them. I was taught at the Art Institute to work with your peers. As you come up, you are not the only one that is not on the bottom, but you're not the only one that's on that ladder. There's other people on that ladder, and they're trying to come up too. And if you all work together, trust me, you'll come up a lot faster than if you're trying to push people to the side and you're like, I want to get ahead of the game before this person. They are young designers, they're young photographers, or they're makeup artists, or they're in the game and they're interested in the glamorous parts of life. I love to work with them because they're passionate, and when you're passionate, you're going to do it right. Right now, a couple of people that I'm working with is, of course, Michael, my videographer right now. I work with Denise Johnson, and she helps me with all of my logos, my t-shirts, things of that nature. And of course, I always go back to my mentors, the people that I interned with. If I have questions, if I'm feeling down and I don't understand things, you always go back to your resources and you connect with your peers, because not only are they going to be able to help you, you're going to be able to help them, and you're going to connect in a way that's awesome. Just have a book. This is like my Bible. It's a raggedy little book, a raggedy little Bible, but it has a lot of numbers in there. It has, I don't know if it's good to open it because it's so raggedy. I have business cards stapled all the way through. I have my contacts. I write notes. Sometimes I set up meetings just because, just to stay up and up on the topics of what's going on. So that's what I recommend for the people that's just stepping in the game, to take notes, make good friends, great connections, and hang in there, because there's other people that's just like you on that ladder. Fashion for me and for MTD Design Company is all about color, the right material, of course, and also the right volume. Sometimes you can go minimalistic if you want to, but oftentimes it's okay to add a little volume, a little extra shoulder, a little extra length in the pants, however you want to do it. But it's all about class. Class never goes out of style. Now, all the trends and everything is fun, but you want something that you can wear at least 20 years from now, and you definitely want a garment. If you're paying anywhere, to me, over $50 to $100, you want to be able to wear it at least, 20 times, 40 times. If you want to wear it to a dinner, if you want to wear it to a family gathering, if you want to wear it to your son's graduation, you should be able to do that. So when you come to me, no matter the price, it's a good buy, it's quality, it's beautiful, and it's something that you can wear over and over and over again. So the next thing that I do want to focus on is, some upcoming things with MTD. So you can definitely find me on Instagram at Mtdnphilly or at Makaya T Deshields. That's MAKIAHTDESHIELDS. I also have a website that I will leave the address linked to the video. And you can go in there, you can see all the upcoming looks, all the styles. You can see what MTD is doing at the time. My contact information is definitely on there via email or telephone call. Definitely this year you're going to see more of MTD. 2019 is definitely going to be my year. So every couple months I do a new thing, a new trend as far as promoting myself. So you'll see different looks. I work with different models. So definitely this year in 2019, be prepared to see more of Makaya Tanisha Deshields.